I was so tired, like mentally, physically. Waking up, I was so tired. What it serves me is it makes me lazy. It made me procrastinate. Emotional intelligence plays a huge part in how you're gonna guide yourself into this life and guide yourself through this journey. If you have nothing, do you still have an identity? Today we're gonna talk about reinventing yourself, shifting your identity, and I want to start by saying this one thing. This is not gonna be a manifesting story. I don't do manifesting, and it's not because I want to be cocky or I want to be, putting other people down. Definitely not. But I do want to say identity shifting, making yourself a better person, really making the decision to change yourself is more than manifesting. Let's say if you're in a real deep slump, you're deep somewhere in your life you want to get out of and you don't know how. I can imagine only manifesting can be very hard, because what are you gonna do if you're not seeing the results you want in a period of time? So this video is a video. I want you to grab a pen and a notebook, because I'm gonna ask you some questions. We're going to work today. Not me, but you. You are going to work today. I have been a different person 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago than that I'm now, right? To be honest, I have worked really hard on myself, but I did get professional help. And I think with all together, I had like 6-7 years therapy. Not all at once, but in like different sections. Yeah, I learned a lot, and that's why for me personally, reinventing yourself or shifting your identity is something I take seriously. Like, I'm not even playing. I'm really talking today to people who are in a specific place in their lives and they want to shift their lives into another place. They really want to make steps to build themselves up. And if I look at my own story, I have come a long way. If y'all have seen my video about attachment, a little bit how I've been grown up and that I haven't lived at home for a while. So I think that if I will be honest about who I was before and how I am now, you will never believe it. You will never believe it. But let me tell you something. The Lord is good, oh. Hey, my God is good, oh. Hey. I think a lot of people forget to sit with themselves and reflect. You want to change your identity, right? So that means that somewhere down in your being, in your mind, that you're not satisfied with who you are as a person right now, and that you're not satisfied with the life you're living, correct? So you making that decision for yourself. Me personally, my logic will be you have to sit down with yourself and reflect. You have to ask yourself questions before you take action. Because is it just an emotion? Is it just a trend, a hype that you want to hop on? Or is this something you want to take seriously? So sit down, take your book, take your pen, and write down these questions. We have 2 sections, but we're gonna start with section 1. And at the end, I'm all gonna explain why this is important and why I work with sections. But I'm not gonna say it now because I want you just to focus on the questions. So question number 1, the most important question. Why do you want to reinvent yourself? What is the life now giving you? What is actually the reason you want to change your life? So instead of only writing down, I'm not satisfied, I don't like it. No, why? Why don't you like it? What is the life now giving you? For example, in the past, I will answer this question with, I want to reinvent myself because I'm not happy with myself. What is the life now giving you? The life that I'm living now is giving me not enough satisfaction because I don't eat well, I don't exercise, I go out a lot, and that makes me not take time for myself. I feel like I want to grow, but something is holding me back. What is your life now giving you? What you don't like? It can be a feeling, it can be a certain lifestyle, it can be that you're just fed up, it can be that you're tired. Me personally, in the past, I wanted to change because I was so tired, like mentally, physically. Waking up, I was so tired, and that was for me a reason why I want to reinvent myself, because I think it's important that if you wake up in the morning and if you have a purpose, if you have things clear for yourself, that you have the energy to wake up and start your day. And of course, it's not always the same. It's not every day you have the energy, but at least you enjoy waking up and making best of life. Question number 2. How does your life at this moment serve you in a way that it doesn't benefit you? So this question looks a lot like the first question, but in this question we are focusing on how it doesn't serve you. So what are concrete the things that doesn't serve you? So if I can give an example, for me in the past, it will be what it serves me is it makes me lazy. It made me procrastinate. I don't know if I say it. The life that I was living drew me further away from God. So these are examples of how your life now is serving you. Does it make sense? The next question. What are you afraid might happen if you don't take this change? So if you don't take this change, what might happen? Me personally, if I can be very vulnerable, I had a feeling in the past that if I didn't change, I wouldn't know if I would make it. And I don't mean it always in a like dramatic way, but I was so tired and so fed up of life sometimes that I was like, I cannot live like this. Like, I can't. But also a thing I was afraid of was I knew I had a purpose, I had potential, I had creativity, I have a lot in me. And I just knew me staying like this wouldn't let me grow into the person God wants me to be. So that was the thing I was very afraid of. I was afraid that I was not living my life in a way that I could do because I was having a certain lifestyle. Please take your time to answer this question because it's very important to know. Question number 4. Can you give yourself one example or thing what you do like about your life right now? And I know this one is difficult, but I just want you to know there is something that you can say. If you're fed up, if you're tired, if you want something different and you're like, no, I don't like anything. Yes, you do. Because the fact that you made it so far is something I would say you can be proud of. You can be proud of being where you are at this moment, regardless of where you want to go. We all know not everyone make it this far. Some people make choices because they couldn't anymore. Some people do things because life just grabbed them, right? But you are here. You are looking at me. I'm looking at you. Be proud of yourself. You made it this far. And then the last question of section 1. What beliefs or habits are holding you back from living as your ideal self? So what beliefs do you have now that is holding you back? What kind of habits are holding you back? If I may be very vulnerable, again, damn, it's like a very vulnerable video. No, I'm kidding. So for me, for example, I had a habit that I went out a lot. I went to parties a lot. And that's not something that is a bad thing. But the lifestyle I wanted, I knew going to parties every weekend wouldn't bring me there. So that was a habit I need to cut. But also watching certain TV shows, what unconsciously makes me look a certain way to the world, I know it had impact on me unconsciously. I didn't knew it before, but when I was reflecting, I tend to see those things coming up. So this was section 1. These were the questions of section 1. So now I want you to go to a new blank page because now I'm gonna ask questions again, but these are different types of questions, yeah? It will all make sense. It will all make sense in the end, guys. Just trust me, okay? Trust me. If you could reinvent yourself completely without fear of limitations, how would you describe the person you are going to be? Yeah? Did you hear that? And I challenge you to write things down that is not materialistic too much. So let's say 70% has to do with your inner self, with your emotional well-being, the mind state, and 30% can be material things. Oh, I want a car. I want a big house. I want that. I want. We are going to focus on the inner side. Okay, this question is something you are going to answer now. As time goes by, the answer can change because I wrote down, I think 6 years ago, a totally different thing than now. Even last year, my vision board, yeah? Do you guys know that I didn't know last year, exactly around this time, I didn't know I was gonna start a YouTube channel. I didn't know. Can you see how crazy things can go? And as you're going your way, you will find out if things are soothing you or you want to adjust things, okay? When you think about reinventing yourself, what emotions come up? Are you afraid? Are you happy? Are you angry? The question is more like you thinking about reinventing yourself or you thinking about shifting your identity right now. What is the motivation behind it? Is it a motivation of fear, a motivation of anger? And the reason why I say this is because it's very important to know why you're motivated. Because if you're motivated because you are angry, I think it's a good thing to focus on finding the compassion for yourself. Be kind to yourself, because if you're doing this from a place of anger, if you're not hitting the goals in a certain time span that you want, you will get angry with yourself again and again and again. And in that way, your motivation will be gone real quick, because you don't treat yourself with love, respect, and compassion. And making sure to sustain this and to really have the time to get to know yourself and shift your identity and reinvent yourself, you need compassion, you need respect, but also the most important thing, you need to be kind to yourself, because this is a journey. It won't go like this. It will go like this. And in every wave that you're in, I want you to be kind to yourself. Imagine a year from now, you can only choose 2 things in your life that you improved starting tomorrow, where you have control over. What would it be? Looking back on my life, I think I would choose eating healthy and mental health. Because most of the times, if you eat good and your mental health is in check, the rest will follow. Write down what is important for you, because later on I will tell you why all this is important to know. What is something you currently tolerate that you would like to release in your new life? So what is something now you are tolerating, what you want to release in your new life? I know a lot of people have people pleasing, because people pleasing is something a lot of people struggle with. But I'm gonna tell you now, people pleasing is not something you can change in 30 days, in 60 days, in 90 days. You can work towards it though. But if it's something that you have learned from a young age, you really need to be conscious about the decisions you make, and really make it a priority to almost every day be conscious about working on that part of your life. So yeah, write it down. If you don't mind, let me know this question, because I'm very curious where my family is struggling with. What values do you want to center in this new version of yourself? Are you hearing the plane? I'm hearing the plane. Waiting till the plane is over. So what values are important to you? And if you're like, I don't know, well, guess what? Think about it. Think about it and write it down, because these values are important for you to know, because they are gonna be the values that be in center of your new life. In total, it were 10 questions separated in 2 parts. 5 questions for the first part and 5 questions for the second part. The first part is more focused on who you are now, why you are the way you are, what emotions do you have, how does it serve you, and questions that make you think why you want to make this decision, okay? And then the second part are questions that is more focused on going forward. So the thing is, I don't know if you knew, but I didn't involve material things in it, right? Because me personally, if it comes to identity shifting and reinventing yourself, emotional intelligence plays a huge part in how you're gonna guide yourself into this life and guide yourself through this journey. Real identity shifts starts within. So we are not gonna focus on how big your house is gonna be, because that has nothing to do with your identity. I know a lot of people see it as an extension of their identity, because if I have this car, that says a lot about me. If you have nothing, do you still have an identity? And that's the most important thing, because a lot of things around us can change. Knowing who you are, knowing your identity will keep you firm. And as I said in the beginning of the video, we have a part 2, and part 2 will come out next week. And part 2 is planning our vision board together. And with planning, we're gonna use these questions, because these questions are very important to plan your vision board. And the reason why those questions are important before you start anything and making choices, because you have to know who you are at this moment, and you have to get clear where you want to go. And then you have this part, the past, and where you want to go, and everything in between is where you're gonna walk. But if you don't know why and where you're going, then you're just walking everywhere. So please take time with answering those questions. If you need to, like this video and save it and watch it back another time if you have your pen and notebook, and really think and really reflect and make it a fun thing to do, because it's just you getting to know you. And I think that's the greatest gift you can give yourself.